was good.
The Rotary Club of Columbus is a membership organization with a passion for service. Founded in 1915, we're one of Rotary's largest and oldest clubs worldwide. My name is Tyler Townsend, and I have the privilege of serving as the 2019-2020 Club President. We all know the challenges the coronavirus pandemic is posing. Our club has faced tough times, including 2 world wars, but this is the first time we've had to suspend our in-person meetings. So instead of meeting here at the Trade Center, we're going to meet every week online until it's appropriate to return. So whether you're a member or a guest, thank you for joining us today. We're happy that you're here.
Welcome to the March 18th meeting of the Rotary Club of Columbus. We're happy that you're here. We're happy that you've joined us. And this is a special meeting. For the first time in our 105 years history, we're doing this meeting remotely. So we're streaming this meeting on Facebook. After the meeting is concluded, we'll have a replay of it on Facebook and on YouTube. And some of you may be listening on an audio-only conference call. So thank you again for being here. We hope that you enjoy this format. This is a great opportunity for us to stay connected with our fellow Rotarians. And for those of you that are using Facebook, please use the comments to chat with your friends and ask questions of our speakers. So at this time, I'm going to introduce Cameron Bean to bring us our news. Cameron.
Thank you, President Tyler and fellow Rotarians. I hope you are well and healthy. It is March 18th, and here is a look at your headlines. The number of confirmed coronavirus infections topped 200,000, more than doubling in 2 weeks as countries escalated their response to the spread with travel restrictions, home quarantines, and other limits on movement. Deaths globally have also more than doubled over the past 2 weeks to more than 8,000. The U.S. has 6,496 confirmed cases in all 50 states and Washington, D.C., including 114 deaths. Case numbers are expected to grow as testing capabilities expand. There are 146 confirmed cases in Georgia and 1 confirmed death. There are no confirmed cases in Muskogee County thus far. Former Vice President Joe Biden won all 3 primaries held Tuesday on a day filled with anxious voting, building a lead in the Democratic presidential nomination race that appears increasingly difficult for Bernie Sanders to overcome. The 2-man race lurched forward against major disruptions triggered by the coronavirus pandemic as the first balloting was held in Florida, Illinois, and Arizona since the crisis engulfed the nation. As of this morning, the former vice president had 52.8% of the delegates allocated so far and 56.7% of the number needed to win the nomination. Stocks, bonds, and commodities fell this morning in a simultaneous sell-off that suggests investors and companies are trying to raise cash as rapidly as possible to cope with the economic disruption sparked by the coronavirus pandemic. The Senate is expected to vote today on a second coronavirus response bill aiming to support the workers whose livelihoods are at risk and a safety net that may soon be protecting more Americans as U.S. businesses shut down. The interim measure, which would be followed by a third package potentially costing $1 trillion, would ensure free testing for the COVID-19 disease caused by the virus and ensure at least 2 weeks of paid emergency leave for a wide swath of people dealing with its effects. It would also give the states more Medicaid funding, provide more money for food stamps, and expand the unemployment insurance program. The Dow Jones was down 1,200 points at noon today. Your weather forecast, partly cloudy with a high of 82 degrees. And we'll end on this note. The Sunday morning service had ended, and the pastor was greeting parishioners as they were leaving. Everyone was friendly as they greeted him, but no one said anything about the sermon. The pastor was getting a little concerned about that until someone said, "Oh, Pastor, Your sermon reminded me of the peace and love of God. A little puzzled, the pastor asked him to explain what he meant. The parishioner explained, "Well, Pastor, the sermon reminded me of the peace of God because it passed all understanding, and it reminded me of the love of God because it endures forever." That's your news.
Thank you, Cameron.
Thank you.
At this time, I'll often remind our guests to please silence their phones and mobile devices, but today, y'all do what you want with them. Our next club tradition that is important to us is that we honor Fort Benning. We have a long-standing relationship with Fort Benning, and we honor a Soldier of the Week every week. And while obviously we had some challenges this week, we do have a special message from Brigadier General Retired Pete Jones, who is the president of the National Infantry Museum, to give us an update on this program.
Thank you, President Tyler and fellow Rotarians. I'm Brigadier General Retired Pete Jones, President and COO of the National Infantry Museum Foundation. It's great to be standing outside the museum here in the shadow of the Global War on Terror Memorial, as again we reinstitute and continue a tradition that celebrates our soldiers and their families' service and sacrifice to our nation. As we work distributed to stay connected as Rotarians and keep service above self, it's great to remember that we have servicemen and women deployed in over 140 countries. At this stage, just in the Army alone, we estimate over 190,000 soldiers are deployed defending our freedoms across this world, subject not only to a virus, but also enemies to our nation. As we continue to recognize these soldiers, keep them and their families in our thoughts as Columbus continues to celebrate a great tradition of supporting Fort Benning for well over 100 years. Thank you very much, and I hope you all have a great day.
Thank you, Pete. We look forward to honoring our military guests next week. Many of you know we support the Georgia Rotary Student Program. This is a wonderful program where our club and clubs across the state of Georgia sponsor an international student to study at a university in our state. Our student this year is Michaela Lundquist. She's from Sweden, and she has a special message for us.
This is Michaela Lundquist speaking, your DRSP student from this year. It's with great sadness that I have to say farewell already. I'm actually leaving this Sunday due to the coronavirus. However, I will still fulfill my final program for you guys, so be sure to check it out. See you then, bye.
What I would like to next do is thank Michaela for being a wonderful student this year. We've enjoyed getting to know you. We wish you the best, and we look forward to hearing your presentation remotely from Sweden in a few weeks to come. At this time, I have the great privilege of introducing our speaker for this week. Our speaker is Taylor Duncan. Taylor was diagnosed with autism at the age of 4, and growing up, he had some difficulty playing baseball, a sport he loved. Through some preconceived notions of others, he wasn't given the opportunities that he should have. So what he did is he created his own league. Taylor has been honored by a host of groups, the Georgia State Legislature, the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame, and the Atlanta Braves organization. So Taylor is here today to talk to us about the Alternative Baseball Organization. And we're going to start with a clip that talks about his group.
I've been loving this since I was basically a kid. They didn't give me a chance to play in high school.
I quit playing full time after I was 12 years old. That's when the Asperger started setting in at that age.
They wouldn't give me the opportunities because they thought because I had autism, it just wasn't worth their time. My name is Taylor Duncan. I am 22 years of age from the small town of Dallas, Georgia. I was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder at the age of 4.
He had a lot of sensory issues. It was hard for us to go out in public. And he had a lot of anxiety. When he was diagnosed, it came as a shock because I knew there were some things going on. I just never dreamed that it was autism.
I couldn't play sports when I was much younger due to coaches' perceptions and perceived ideas of what those with autism can and cannot be capable of. And I feel like my calling is to change that.
Now we will introduce our players for today's Alternative Baseball Opening Day. Taylor Duncan.
Taylor decided to form his own team. In 2016, he created the Alternative Baseball Organization. Today, the league has around 40 players and 10 volunteers, all working towards the same goal.
Alternative Baseball is a developmental baseball program for teens and adults with autism and special needs. We strive to break barriers, and of course, we strive to power through perceptions.
Well, it gets hit. We got to run unless it's up in the air.
We teach the physical skills and we teach the social skills, the life lessons of what it's actually like to be on a typical team. Whether it's a double play, whether it's striking out several times and finally getting that big hit, every moment is special.
Volunteers like Jimmy Young have seen many of those special moments, both on and off the field.
It gives them a chance to be in an environment out of their own homes. They're in different situations where they get to meet with different people, different personality types. We get to be together, have fun, high five, cheer them on, whether they catch the ball or don't.
It'll be Malcolm Washington playing the guitar on the bat as he walks up to the plate.
We play Taylor with a baseball bat to hit the ball and run the bases.
You see them coming out, kind of coming into their own. That has opened it up to them to have more camaraderie with all of us.
Taylor's really just throwing some heat.
More heat, and it's going to be a strike three.
Alternative baseball gives its players the simple thing they've always wanted, the chance to play free of judgments.
Kind of lost the love for the game, and Taylor's actually helped me bring that love back a lot. You can just come out and play. I think that's what's great about it. It's open to everyone.
It meets a need for them to be able to come out here and just be themselves for who they are and know that they're appreciated for who they are and that they can achieve whatever they want to achieve.
We need this. We need this in as many communities as we possibly can, and I'm not going to stop until it happens.
All right, that was excellent. At this point, we're going to hear from Taylor, and he's going to give us a presentation on Alternative Baseball Organization.
Thank you so much, Mr. Townsend. And thank you, Columbus Rotary Club, for having me here today. I can't wait to tell you all more about what Alternative Baseball Organization is all about and what we managed to bring to the Chattahoochee Valley area so far this year and in last year as well. Alternative Baseball provides the authentic baseball style experience for teens and adults ages 15 and older with autism and other disabilities for physical and social skills enrichment for life on and off the baseball diamond. Here's what we're offering to those down the Chattahoochee Valley. We offer an environment for social skills and physical skills enrichment where we provide practices, exhibition games, all in a social environment where players are accepted for who they are, encouraged to be the best they can be, and instilled the confidence needed to fulfill dreams for life on and off the baseball diamond. And I can't wait to tell you all about what we did last November at Golden Park, but I'll save that for last. But first, we offer practices for all participants in the program. The very first practices we've ever held up here in Cobb County with the original program back in 2016, we had only around 6 or 7 participants show up to the very first practice, and we focused on the very basic of skills: how to swing a bat, how to run the bases correctly, all the typical skills needed for success during the game to be able to prepare them, as many of our players often face preconceived ideas of what they can and cannot accomplish, but we want to be able to provide the settings so that they can accomplish even the things that are way beyond their own dreams or even their own knowledge or predictions. And we take everything that they learn in the practices and we apply them into our exhibition games. The exhibition games provide the authentic baseball game experience. We play straight by the typical rule book for Major League Baseball, the classic rules, just like what you were familiar with watching Smoltz, Glavine, and Maddox back in the 90s on TBS Superstation. The games are scored, and we use Major League style rules, except in many of our games we play 7 innings. 4 balls and 3 strikes and out, just like what you're typically seeing when you used to go see the Red Sticks back in the 90s. And the players pitch, and the players catch behind home plate too. A lot of our players had never had the opportunity to pitch behind a mound or catch behind the plate before. However, we give them that opportunity to really test and to continue growing their skills, giving them those opportunities where they may have never had those opportunities before to play in traditional sports settings, because it's not available in all areas. And just like in the pros, and I'm going to show you this on my video feed, we use these wood bats just like they do in the professional levels, just like you see on TV, just like the ultimate sandlot experience, ladies and gentlemen. And the only other adaptation is this ball right here, slightly larger and much softer than a regulation size baseball. We use this to accommodate those of all skill levels, whether they're participating for the very first time or whether they played for years and did not have the chance to continue playing in high school due to preconceived perceptions of what they can and cannot accomplish. And we love to bring back classic traditions. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a demonstration here of what we do exactly before every home game that we have in alternative baseball. I trust that a lot of you have seen the movie The Sandlot before, or something similar, or played sandlot ball years and years ago. I'm going to give you this demonstration right here of what we do before every home game to determine who's home and away team, and I'm going to discuss the meaning of that after I give you the demonstration. So without further ado, I'm going to stop to share the screen right here. Okay? And then this is what we do before every home game. The umpire, there's usually somebody on each side. We usually do a demonstration, a lot of my speaking engagements in person, but I'm going to show you this way since we're online today. But usually the official will toss it up vertically, and then you go hand over hand all the way to the top, and whoever's hand reaches the top first, of course, wins home team advantage. But that's not just why we bring it back for the historical tradition of being the very first tradition all the way back to the 1840s in Hoboken, New Jersey. It also teaches the social skills needed for success off the baseball diamond as well, into their personal lives, into even employment as one gets older and ready to take the private sector by storm. In fact, it teaches strategical thinking skills, and it teaches turn-taking skills. Both skills that are vastly needed for success on and off the baseball diamond. We're going to get back to our presentation here. And we offer this all in a social environment where players are encouraged to be the best they can be, accepted for who they are, and more importantly, instill confidence needed to fulfill their own dreams in life on and off the baseball diamond. We focus on building teamwork skills, building that camaraderie. It's not just a program, just a team here. We're a family. We want to really try to build that camaraderie to help them form those social friendships, form those social relationships that will carry with them really for the rest of their lives. All because they've been given that one opportunity to show what they can do, rather than the apostrophe and the T at the end of the word. And we love to teach interpersonal skills through this as well. And those who attend 70% or more of the practices and the games throughout the year, guess what they get to do? No, we don't exactly give them a trophy, but we give them an experience that they'll remember for the rest of their lives. The Alternative Baseball All-Star Game. We've done this for the last 4 years now for those in the metro Atlanta area, and this past November marked the very first inaugural event for those in the Columbus and Phoenix City areas. And we plan to do it again this year at Golden Park this coming November, where our players get to participate in a real unrestricted like game played straight by the rules against a team of former and current professional, major and minor league baseball players. How cool is that? And that's their experience that they get to work toward throughout the year. That's their big reward that keeps back. And we invite the general public to come out to it as well, to come and cheer our guys on. It's always a great thing. Now, in that left pitcher is Johnny Estrada, who was a catcher for the Atlanta Braves in the mid-2000s. Yes, that Silver Slugger Award winner. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Since we have been on ESPN Baseball tonight, and since Craig Melvin flew down from New York to Atlanta to do a segment for NBC's Today Show, we've had those in other neighborhoods come to the opportunity to those in our communities. Definitely. And Little League World Series star Kyle Carter is our manager for the team in Columbus, and he's done a fantastic job putting it together, and it's one of our best performing programs out of those that we are setting up throughout the United States. Now, our national reach is reaching all the way out west to Tacoma, Washington, down to Phoenix, all the way out east to Jersey City, all the way down to Daytona Beach, Ormond Beach, Florida area, Volusia County, with most of our teams being set up in the southeastern area. And we continue to plan on building, and I'm happy to answer any of your questions. And with your help, we can continue fulfilling our mission to provide those 15 and older with autism and other disabilities and special needs the opportunity to play authentic baseball for physical and social skills enrichment for life on and off the baseball diamond. It isn't just important to provide opportunities through sports. Any way you possibly can help to provide more opportunities towards being more inclusive and providing those opportunities to really let them show what their potential is. You don't know what you're going to get until you give us a shot. Let's put aside the perception and let's open up more and more opportunities so that we can create more positive productivity in society. I think that's what we all want. And together we can continue to break barriers, and also we can continue to power through perceptions. For more information, please visit our website at alternativebaseball.org. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a wonderful pleasure. I'm happy to answer any more questions.
Taylor, thank you for your presentation. I also want to thank you for your flexibility. In any event, Taylor, I'm sure you'll watch the replay of this. I want to thank you for your time with us today. We'll compile the questions that we get from our membership. It's really inspiring what you've done. You found a need for yourself that you would like to share with others, and to build this organization up of over 25 clubs in 12 states is quite an achievement. So we're proud of you for having done that. At this time, I'd like to remind you that we will be back here next week. We have seen many of your comments. We're going to work on the technical kinks, and we're going to keep improving this. Next week, our speaker will be Dr. James Birdsong. Dr. Birdsong is an Auburn University professor, and he's the coordinator of Auburn's new aviation department. And that's a really fascinating program, and we look forward to hearing from him at that time. So with no further business, as we do, our meeting is adjourned. Thank you.